The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy.
You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is December 21st, 2018. This week, Robot Shill and Capitol Hill. My name's Basil.
And this is Gonz. This is where we bring you the other news with Canary Cry views. It's the winter solstice. That means Flippy updates.
Merry Christmas, Gonz. I have some robot updates for you. First of all, our Flippy update. This article comes from geek.com. Walmart is testing Flippy, the robot fry cook. That's right, Flippy's going corpo. The article reads, Flippy, the burger flipping, chicken tender frying robot, might be making an appearance at a Walmart deli near you. Walmart is currently testing the kitchen robot assistant at its Bentonville, Arkansas headquarters to determine if it's the right fit for its in-store delis, Yahoo Finance reports. Did you know that Walmart had delis? I don't think I knew this.
No, but I know they have lots of items, so I'm not surprised that they would have
lots of items. Man, your insight is just incredible. Flippy, created by Miso Robotics, is the world's first autonomous robot kitchen assistant powered by artificial intelligence. It has previous real-world kitchen experience, including flipping burgers at Cali Burger and cooking fried chicken tenders at the Chicken Tots stand at Dodger Stadium. In September, Miso Robotics announced that Flippy has helped Dodger Stadium team members consistently cook and serve more than 10,000 pounds of fresh chicken tenders and crispy tater tots to Dodgers fans, producing up to 80 baskets of food per hour. Quote, Walmart saw what we were doing and said, could you bring Flippy from Dodger Stadium to our culinary institute? What if the answer was no? Miso Robotics CEO David Zito told Yahoo Finance. Flippy has 3D and thermal scanners for eyes and uses the cloud-connected Miso AI for a brain. According to Miso Robotics, it can work a grill or a fryer, cooks perfectly and consistently every time, and it features automatic tool switching and cleaning. He's getting fancier.
He's getting more efficient.
Yeah, he can switch tools and clean himself. It's almost like he's a human. At Walmart, Flippy would likely be used to do some of the more tedious tasks at the delis and automate the frying process for many of the items, including chicken tenders, mozzarella sticks, and potato wedges. It would put the food into the appropriate fryers using visual recognition technology to make sure each food item goes into the right basket. Flippy would then agitate the basket by shaking it to make sure the product cooks evenly, and then move the basket to the drip rack. Wow, some very deep insight in how you fry food. In case anybody didn't know how food was fried, this Flippy update will explain it to you. A Walmart associate will then test the food's internal temperature and then season the food before moving it to the display case and making it available for purchase. Quote, what we want to do is assist the hardworking linemen, cooks, and chefs in America. In America. With tools to give them the ability to faithfully reproduce while taking the burden off some of these more repetitive and mundane tasks. Listen to that language, all you linemen and chefs in America.
It's not demeaning to those people at all.
It's the new age. So there you go. Flippy is going corpo. He's going to be working for Walmart. And it was just a matter of time. Walmart.
He went straight to the top. He didn't mess around. He was just like, some restaurant, Dodger Stadium, Walmart.
It's like Flippy is living the American dream, working his way all the way to the top in a matter of one lifetime. Okay. Yeah. So there you go. There's your official Flippy update. Flippy proper. Now going to the Royal Flippy.
Well,
This
yeah,
is
the
on-
Royal Flippy. But before we do, just a reminder
Okay.
to tell your friends to visit flippyismybestfriend.com.
Oh, that's right. Flippyismybestfriend.com is a URL that Gons and I, we did a live URL buying session on Canary Cry Conversations a while back. And flippyismybestfriend.com is we are the new and proud owners of that URL. So you can just, I'll make another call. Everybody go to your Facebook page and just do a post and just post flippyismybestfriend.com. No explanation needed. It's a great way to wake up the masses.
Although
Everybody's
a lot of those,
going to click on that link.
Although a lot of those social media things seem to, just post the link as a thing. Anyway.
The link as a thing. Okay.
Or it just shows where it's going. If you type in the link, it'll
maybe.
Yeah, anyway.
Although some people did post it when the last time we asked, and it wasn't doing that. It was just doing the link.
There you go.
I'm gonna actually give a shout out to some people who posted it.
You do that. I'm gonna play some music in the background. This is some light piano.
Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Wow. Very impressive, Guns. You're really getting good at that.
I'm practicing every day. Actually, that was a new robot hand who can play the piano without moving its fingers.
Watch out, Beethoven.
This is actually a blogs.discovermagazine.com article here. And it says, just briefly here, Halloween may be behind us, but the nightmare before Christmas proved you can combine the spooky holiday with the most wonderful time of the year to get some fabulous music. With that in mind, we present a robot hand shaped like a human skeleton's that can play Jingle Bells.
There
you go. That was
very cute. Love it.
Robotics lab at the University of Cambridge.
Yeah.
Really, tapping into their resources there for.
Hey, you know how a robot gets to the Grand Ole Opry?
How's that?
Practice. Okay. I want to thank Angelique, and I want to thank Nadir, and I want to thank Amanda and Jen. Thank you guys and girls for posting flippyismybestfriend.com. And if you want a shout out, go ahead and post flippyismybestfriend.com. We got to get that out to the people. Yeah. All right. Gons, are you ready for some fake news? This one, I love this next article, and you're going to love it too. It has Russia, it has fake news, and it has robots. Are you ready? This is foxnews.com. Oh, just slamming the Russians on foxnews.com. High-tech robot Boris at Russia Technology Forum. Actually, a man inside a suit.
Aww.
Yep, Russian state television praised a high-tech robot at a technology forum that was actually a man inside a suit. Russia 24, a state-owned television channel, applauded a man in a suit, believing he was a real robot, saying that, quote, Robot Boris has already learned to dance and he's not that bad, The Guardian reported. One anchor said the view of the robot could inspire Russian youth in their career decisions. Quote, it's entirely possible one of these students could dedicate himself to robotics, the anchor said, especially as at the forum, they have the opportunity to look at the most modern robots. Though its translation from Russian is very wooden translation. The state media report showed the robot saying, quote, I know mathematics well, but I also want to learn to draw, before he went on to dance. But many immediately noticed that the so-called robot was missing important components for a robot to work and made too many, quote, unnecessary movements while dancing. Photos that emerged later showed the neckline of a person in a suit, revealing that the robot turned out to be a $3,800 Alyosha the Robot costume made by a company called Show Robots, according to the newspaper. The robot suit is... Yeah, robot debunked. Russian robot debunked. You know, this is a great example of just how prevalent propaganda is. I mean, this is sort of a cartoonized version of it. But a lot of people, and I've been thinking about this recently, and we all need to keep this in mind. In the last year of Obama's administration, and this is not picking on Obama, everybody knows how I feel about, the power structure of the U.S. government in its entirety.
Yeah.
Propaganda used to be illegal. There is an actual law that said propaganda from the government was illegal.
Yeah,
but
state sponsored. State funded.
Yeah, right. But now, thanks to Obama, in America, state-funded propaganda is completely legal. So don't believe anything you read, although we all know that. It's
the Smith-Mund Modernization Act of 2013 for anybody who wants to go look that up.
That's right.
Yep.
And so I guess it wasn't his last year, but we all know that Russia state propaganda has been a thing. This is a state-run television network here. And there you go. They're trying to inspire the Russian youth to research robotics. But unfortunately, they've been exposed.
Did they actually find the person that was in there?
That's a great question. No.
'Cause maybe if you ask him, maybe he's like, maybe he says that
maybe
it's
he's
art.
Maybe he's
like,
an android.
It's an artistic expression that we are all just but machines.
Aren't we all robots? Maybe he's a hyper-realistic android who's too advanced, and then he had to dress up like a regular robot.
Down.
Yes, that technically would be dressing down.
Dressing down.
To look like a caveman version of his species.
Are you ready to become cyborg?
There you go. Anyway, so there's a little bit more to that article, but you get the picture.
Yep. So here's another story here. I guess we're going on from
this I love. I love this next one.
This is the nextweb.com. Anti-robot vigilantes in Arizona try to scare off Waymo's self-driving cars.
That's right. Anti-robot vigilantes. I think we're going to see more of this in the future.
This is the true, I think, the bleeding edge of the true apocalypse, Basil. That's my theory. That it's actually driverless cars. I guess we have been saying that for a while, but this is a great example of a...
Called it.
Yeah.
The average consumer probably doesn't know a whole lot about self-driving car technology, but when exposed to it, most seem to react with a mixture of caution and optimism. Not everyone likes change, though. Nobody understands that more than Waymo. Waymo's human drivers. Waymo Eyes? Is that it? I don't know. Waymo, a Google sister company, found the perfect testing ground for its self-driving taxi programs in Arizona. The weather's perfect, and the local government is amenable. But for some Arizona locals, the home of the Grand Canyon has become an uncanny valley they can't abide.
Oh, nice one.
The idea of driverless vehicles occupying the same roads as them, their families, and the general public is too much for them to accept.
We don't take kindly to your kind here, robot.
Robot drive. One Arizonian from the city of Chandler became so fed up with the sight of Waymo's vans in his neighborhood that he stood on his lawn pointing a pistol at the human safety driver inside of one as it passed his home.
Whoo, doggy.
That
is intense.
He told police he wanted the person in the car to be afraid, presumably to send the message that self-driving cars aren't welcome.
I don't like that. They're putting words in his mouth, presumably.
Presumably, yeah. It's, well, I mean, if you pointed a gun at the human part of the... Anyway.
I love this. I just want to read this next sentence.
Sure.
He's one of the dozens of citizens on record who've engaged in wildly dangerous acts provoked by, apparently, nothing more than the idea of a car driving itself. Wildly dangerous acts.
The Arizona Republic's Ryan Randazzo writes, quote, People have thrown rocks at Waymos. The tire on one was slashed while it was stopped in traffic. So it's, it's just in
Somebody
traffic.
got
Some guy
out
ran
of
up
their
and-
car to slash the tires of this.
Slash the tire.
There is a
Down
resistance.
with the robots, run away.
The resistance is building in
I'm telling you,
Arizona.
this is it. This is the bleeding edge of the apocalypse. The vehicles have been yelled at, chased, and one Jeep was responsible for forcing the vans off roads 6 times.
6 times. This
6
guy was
times.
just cruising in his Jeep, just on a vendetta.
Hey, I see one. I see one
run
of those Waymo cars. Let's go after him.
That's so funny.
Get him out of here. Oh, that is intense.
Not in my town.
Don't driverless car yourself through parts of Chandler or some parts of Arizona there. TNW reported earlier this year that citizens in California were rising up against the machines.
Nice.
In 2 of 6 accidents involving self-driving vehicles, the DMV noted that people intentionally caused the collisions. Really, DMV?
Wow. I wonder if there is. I wonder if this is what is the word I'm looking for? If this movement is actually building, like there's an underground, organized movement to sabotage these self-driving cars.
Well,
or if this is just, they make it sound like just angry random people, but it's starting, there's a pattern here.
No, but listen, but let me just keep reading here. In both of those cases, the drivers then, and then the cases of the collisions and the DMV saying the people caused it. In both of those cases, the drivers then exited their vehicles and screamed at the driverless cars in an apparent fit of rage. In one case, a woman slapped the autonomous vehicle. So,
wow,
maybe it's like the lack of cooperation from the machines. Rather, the DMV saying, "Oh, it was the people," but those people seem to be kind of frustrated with the machine itself. So maybe it's a compatibility issue. Iron doesn't mix with miry clay, Basil.
Oh, the prophecies are coming true.
But comparatively, California only dabbles in self-driving cars. In Arizona, residents in some cities have become alarmed at the number of autonomous vehicles they see on public roadways. In fairness, for many of these folks, even a single robot-driven car is too many.
In fairness, okay.
In fairness,
I don't know why that's in fairness, but I get it.
This is a pretty long article. Should we keep going here?
I'm loving this.
Okay. No, I lost my spot.
Well, why are people so angry at self-driving cars? After all, none of the reported incidents we've seen indicate the people attacking machines and harassing their human safety drivers are experiencing road rage. It doesn't appear as though anyone got cut off by the robot or got tailgated or had one sitting at a green light in front of them. All the usual road rage.
The usual reasons, yeah. Okay, I'll keep going. It seems the existential threat that driverless cars represent is the sole catalyst for these outbursts. The person who aimed a pistol at the Waymo driver expressed outrage that the company would send its vehicles into his neighborhood when police questioned him. He pointed out that the Uber-owned self-driving car had, quote, killed someone. Quote, Tempe Police Vehicular Crimes Unit is actively investigating the details of this incident that occurred on March 18th. We will provide updated information regarding the investigation once it's available. That was the Tempe Police back in March. He's right. A pedestrian was killed when an autonomous vehicle developed and operated by Uber struck them as they crossed a street. It's since been shown that the human driving the vehicle likely wouldn't have been able to react quickly enough to avoid the collision. That means the problem wasn't that a human should have been driving, it's that the computer wasn't any better than a human would have been in this particular case.
Yeah, and they show the video, and it was a guy walking his bike across the street. And it was a very dangerous situation. There's obviously a car coming. He was walking his bike across the street, and the video shows there was nothing you could have done. I'm imagining myself in this situation. You don't see the guy until the very last second, and there was no way a human could have avoided that collision.
Yeah. It keeps going here. It gets into
talks about the dangers and the Uber thing, and so, anyways,
Tesla,
I think we get it. There we go. The the resistance is rising, people.
The best part, other than just the imagery painted, is the actual thumbnail they have for this article, which is kind of a silhouette of some people with like pitchforks and torches, and then on the other side are these little cute robots, Basil, little cute little things with little robot dresses.
They look
and
like
tiny
cute
antennas
little
on their heads.
Cute little helpless robots being chased by a mob with pitchforks and torches. Poor little Waymo.
Yeah.
Okay, well, shall we talk about what's going on Capitol Hill here for our last 8 minutes?
We normally don't touch on the stuff because it's so hyper negative and it's always like blaming the other side. We thought we'd kind of just do a little thing about some of the stuff that they unanimously or the right left paradigm seems to not be an issue when it comes to some of these things moving forward, and that makes sense if you look at the bigger New World Order agenda.
It's very interesting. It's it's interesting how novel it is to read something about what's happening in Washington D.C. that isn't entirely focused around people hating Trump or some sort of left-right battle.
Right, exactly.
So this is on the stack.com. U.S. National Quantum Initiative Act passed unanimously. Legislation commits $1.2 billion to quantum information science research over the next 5 years. The U.S. Senate has passed the National Quantum Initiative Act by unanimous consent. The bill commits $1.2 billion to quantum information science research through the Department of Energy, the National Science Foundation, and the Commerce Department over the next 5 years. The legislation was unveiled in June as a way to coordinate the disparate research efforts of the nascent technology across the public, private, and academic sectors. The bill now only needs President Trump's signature to become law. The Trump administration has been a keen quantum advocate, pushing toward the national quantum agenda by issuing a national strategic overview for quantum information science. That's QIS. The administration views the quantum sector as the next key technological differentiator, a view shared by China, whose $10 billion investment in quantum dwarfs the commitment proposed by the U.S. bill. Russia is also pushing hard to improve its own quantum capabilities. The U.S.'s quantum strategy was introduced at a White House summit in September. At the summit, the Department of Energy announced it would pour $218 billion into 85 quantum research projects. The National Science Foundation pledged $31 million to funding research projects. In attendance were Google, IBM, and Intel, who are all developing their own qubit systems. Google is working on its bristlecone processor, Intel on Tangle Lake, its 49-qubit processor, and IBM on the Q network. Quote, U.S. leadership in quantum information science is essential to national security and economic competitiveness. Jim Clark, director of Quantum Hardware Division at Intel, told Data Center Dynamics, quote, quantum computing has the potential to tackle problems conventional computers can't handle, which is why nations around the world are racing to win the modern-day space race. By exploiting the laws of physics, quantum computers will be able to create more effective drugs to fight diseases, streamline traffic control, better predict weather patterns and model climate change, and help develop artificial intelligence solutions to various societal problems, end quote. The quantum computing has the potential to transform all areas of IT. Critics have warned the area is still largely theoretical, arguing it will be a long time before quantum hardware becomes commercially and logistically viable. So, Gons, quantum computing will save us all and solve all the problems of the world. Yeah, that's right. And as we've talked about before, quantum computing has huge implications for artificial intelligence because of its near limitless capacity for calculations at any one time, which is really the biggest hardware problem for artificial intelligence. To give you a little bit of an idea, I mean, the artificial intelligence we talk a lot about on this show and other places is done on classic computing, which is kind of the term for it. And so, everything that we see artificial intelligence doing now is, basically a toddler version of what artificial intelligence could do on a quantum-enabled piece of hardware. And so, when we do talk about Skynet, when we do talk about, the resistance rising, if you're mad about autonomously driving cars, you best watch out when those autonomously driving cars are able to think at 1 billion times per millisecond.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The context of the development of some of these things that we talk about AI and robot arms and all this stuff. These folks that yell at the cars. That's a very specific case, but it seems to be that it nobody's really protesting Flippy.
Yeah, but everybody loves Flippy. Flippy is my best friend.
That's what I'm saying. So that the robot sort of revolution thing and these quantum initiatives and the government being involved, it's it's all part of the game, and that's why they seem to be able to go at this nonpartisan way.
I know.
Really
and
just kind of push it.
If you're listening to this show, look, we're so happy you're listening. But if you're still buying into sort of a left-right paradigm, you're missing the point. The bigger picture.
Yeah.
The bigger picture. They want that quantum computing. They want the AI. And that's, essentially what we're all going to be banding together. And it won't be long until we're all out there yelling at self-driving cars.
Waymo cars.
In a metaphorical sense.
And well, what else is interesting is the economy. Because of all this infrastructure, we've touched on 5G and the quantum computers and all this technology constantly moving forward. It's changing how we money. It's changing how we money. And so this is CNBC, which is not the most trusted place for the...
Let's not read this whole thing. Why don't you just explain it real quick in the next minute and a half?
Yeah, we're kind of low on time, huh? Yeah. Basically, the headline here is lawmakers look to change SEC's 72-year-old securities definition to exclude cryptocurrencies. Basically, the big debate and the reason why people are talking about this is because cryptocurrencies, people are saying, is it a security? Is it not? The SEC has not been clear about what they determine it to be, but now there's a bipartisan effort. Representative Warren Davidson, which is a Republican from Ohio, and Darren Soto, a Democrat from Florida, they're presenting this Token Taxonomy Act, which would change the 72-year-old sort of way securities are defined to actually not have cryptocurrencies be securities, and so more of a free market thing. The interesting thing I think there, other than the whole economic thing, is the number 72 being sort of a Tower of Babel represented biblical number.
There you go. Yeah, patterns. And one of the biggest problem with cryptocurrencies was, they didn't know how to tax them. They didn't know how to classify them. Do you have to report them? Are there special rules in selling them or buying them? That type of thing. Yeah.
Because it's just a completely different asset class from what they had in 1946. And
it's hit the industry quite hard, and it'll determine how we use them in the future. So, okay, everybody, there you go. Thank you so much. We're going to have to move a Nephilim update. I don't know if we have one, but we're moving it to the extended report.
We don't.
And
have
hey,
one.
If you well, we can find one. Gons. If you are not yet a patron of this show, hey, we realize there's a lot of issues with Patreon going on right now, and we are looking for alternatives to that. But right now, what we have is our Patreon account, patreon.com/CCNT. We had some people cancel because of what Patreon's doing. They're protesting. They don't want Patreon taking the 5%, which we totally understand. That's very unfortunate because that's still 95% of your support that we don't receive. And just to remind everybody, we also have a PayPal account. You can go to Canary Cry Radio /support and support us there on PayPal. But hey, if y'all got friends who aren't listening to Canary Cry News Talk, go on out there and rattle some cages.
It's gotta be biblical.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! Don't ever silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
Hallelujah.
That's right. And if you want even more Canary Cry News Talk in your ears every week, you can head to patreon.com/CCNT, where we will be doing extended reports. We're going to go ahead and record one of those right now. So here we go, folks. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening to this Canary Cry News Talk. And remember to think outside the cage.